going on, guys? Jesse504 here, bringing you all my APA Academy Week 1 Team Builder and Battle, going up against my man MarioBee and his Roll Street Rillabooms. So Week 1, he has a very scary team. Decidueye, Hakamo-O, Hitmonlee, Indeedee, which can be both forms, Magnezone, Marshtomp, Moltres, Galar, Reboot, Ribombee, Shedinja, and Tentacruel. And so the mons that I fully expect to come, Decidueye, I think is just very good. I think he needs it to try to kill my Seismitoad easily. Hitmonlee, I think just hits very hard and is generally kind of tough for my team to stop, considering my bulky Psychic is either Dottler, which I don't think has a great matchup from my perspective, and then Lunatone, which doesn't resist fighting. My Bug doesn't resist fighting, so like really, I just have to check it with Togetic. But that mon is pressured to do other stuff. And then Indeedee, I think, is fantastic. I don't really have a good resist aside from this Lunatone that you see on the screen. Magnezone, I'm 50-50 on if this comes or not. I think it shouldn't, just because I have a Seismitoad, which really shuts down Magnezone. I think that it's like the 7th member, where it's probably the most likely mon that I don't think is coming to come. And then there's Marshtomp, and surprisingly, I do think that Marshtomp comes. I think that's his best way to beat Entei. I think that Marshtomp can avoid being 3-hit KO'd or 4-hit KO'd, something like that, by Banded Sacred Fire, which is really good for him. And then it can just set up rocks in my face, or just do damage with its stabs. I think that Marshtomp should come. Up next is Galarian Moltres, which I think, again, has a fantastic matchup. I really just can't let it get going, otherwise I'm kind of fucked. And then, because the only mon that I really have that stops it is Togetic, and everything else it can kind of hit hard unless I was like a very bulky Electabuzz. And then up next, Reboot could come if you want some stab to deal with Escaf, but same as Magnezone, it's kind of shut down pretty well by Seismitoad, so I don't really see it coming. Ribombee, I think webs are super annoying for me just from my perspective, so I 100% expect him to bring probably even like Sash lead Ribombee and try to win with that. Or potential like Quiver Dance stuff in the back with like Sash Quiver Dance. I think either of those could be potentially problematic. Shedinja, don't expect that to come. I think that mon's a throwaway mon. I don't think it should ever be brought to any games. And then Tentacruel could come if he really doesn't feel confident about Entei, but I think that Marshtomp is a fantastic Entei check. I don't really think you need Tentacruel. Alrighty. And now let's go over my sets. Starting off, we got Lunatone holding the Assault Vest. I think AV Lunatone is very good at shutting down the Indeedee, because the other thing that I would be is like Rest Talk. But I think that AV Lunatone is best. And we got Power Gem, Psyshock, Earth Power, and Ice Beam. Power Gem, good stab. Same with Psyshock. I'm torn on if I want to be Psyshock or Expanding Force, but I think that Psyshock is just a little more consistent for me. Just to be able to hit the Hitmons more consistently on the FizzDef side, specifically the Tentacruel. Up next, we got Earth Power, good for the Magnezone. Is generally pretty safe to click against his team because Moltres doesn't want to accidentally come in on like a Power Gem or something. And then Ice Beam, I've got for some coverage for the Decidueye and potentially, no, actually it's just the Decidueye. I feel like, why not? I don't really have a good 4th move option. Might as well just throw on Ice Beam. This slot could also be Expanding Force depending on how I want to do it, but I just have it as Ice Beam for now. I might change that before the game. And then the EVs with the Assault Vest, 204 Calm, and then 28 HP, lets me evade being 4-hit KO'd by Specs and DD Expanding Force and Psychic Terrain, if I count correctly, which is just absolutely absurd. Yeah, this thing should hopefully be able to stop that Indeedee in its tracks. I don't think I do like too much damage to it, but still I think I 3-hit KO it, and then I'll be able to kill that mon pretty quickly before it can kill me. I can come in a bunch of times on it and potentially force it out, as it has to just like wonder if it can break me. And then up next, I've got my Scarf Noivern. Scarf Noivern, really interesting spread this week. We got U-Turn, Dual Wing Beat, Draco Meteor, and Flamethrower. 156 Naughty Nature allows me to Oko Ribombee, which I think is really cool with the Dual Wing Beat, means that webs will not go up. so I don't have to worry about defogging them later. And that really just opens up the game for my Entei to potentially break through and win. And then we got a bunch of special attack and then some speed. Speed is for his next fastest plausible Scarfer, which in this matchup is Scarf Indeedee. I've got speed for that. And then potentially we just want to hit that Ribombee, then we can drop Dracos and potentially Flamethrower stuff, because that's what Magnezone could come for. It'd be bulky to deal with this Noivern here. And so having Flamethrower can help me get around that. Up next, Banded Entei with Sacred Fire, Stomping Tantrum, Extreme Speed, and Stone Edge. I've got Pressure here because I don't really see him going for any flinching moves, and he doesn't have an Intimidator, so I have no real need for Inner Focus. And then yeah, we got Sacred Fire, Stomping Tantrum, Extreme Speed, Stone Edge, like I said. Sacred Fire is super spammable into this team if I kill the Marshtomp. So I can potentially make some pretty good doubles just out of this into pretty much my Roserade. That's my best answer to Marshtomp, and then hopefully we can go from there. Just because Marshtomp doesn't really have any good recovery moves. And then we got Stomping Tantrum as coverage for the Tentacruel, and then I've got Stone Edge as coverage for the Moltres. And that's my set this week. Up next, we've got Seismitoad, we've got Lefties, Water Absorb, Rocks, EQ, Liquidation, and Ice Punch. We've got our Dual Stabs, Ice Punch for the Decidueye, of course, which I think comes in pretty frequently on the Seismitoad. Eevee to take on the Reboot, and also to take on the Hitmonlee pretty well, and then we just fire off some pretty powerful attacks. We just got to get rocks up. That's the game plan this week. That's really what I need my Seismitoad to do, is just get rocks up so we can start chipping mons like Moltres, Ribombee, Reboot, even forcing Hitmonlee or Tentacruel to spin. I think both of those are pretty good for me. Up next, we've got Togetic, Spadef. This is just MoltresCheck.exe. Roost, Defog, Thunderwave, Dazzling Gleam, just potentially spreading around T-Waves is really nice. Potentially gleaming the Moltres is fine. And then we got Roost to stay healthy, and Defog in case the webs do go up. And last but not least, we got the Roserade with Spikes, Sludge Bomb, Mudslap, and Giga Drain. This is why I didn't want to defog, is because I think Spike Stack is fantastic into Mario's team. I just really like being able to wear down mons with the combination of rocks and then spikes. And then we got Dual Stabs plus Mudslap. Mudslap 2 KOs Magnezone. I think it's really funny, and because it's not an evasion raising move, it's an accuracy lowering move, we are allowed to bring it, so it potentially can give me an out into some mons, but really it's just meant to get some spikes up on potential Marshtomp coming in. I go out, I can get spikes up, or I can Giga Drain stuff, and that's really what my Roserade is here to do. It's got Black Sludge, and then obviously Technician to boost up the Mudslaps, and this is my team, and I will see you guys in the battle. Alrighty, and we are at team preview, and we see Indeedee, Raboot, Moltres, Marshtomp, Decidueye, and Tentacruel. So no Ribombee and no Hitmonlee. Okay, that's actually good. No Ribombee, no Hitmonlee, and instead we see the Tentacruel here. Okay, just gonna go to Marshtomp, and we see Reboot. Alrighty. Cool. Okay. So, as for leads, what do I think he'll do? This is tough actually. I don't really see him having like a super dedicated lead. I kind of just wanna lead with my Scarf Noivern, because that was kind of my dedicated lead. Even though this Ribombee isn't here, I still feel like he just doesn't have a good Dragon resist. He doesn't have a Draco resist. Obviously Tentacruel can kind of sponge it at first, but it only can switch in once because it doesn't really recover at all, and he doesn't have a Wish Passer. I don't think Indeedee gets Wish. So, alrighty, good luck, have fun to MarioBee. Let's get this show on the road. Alrighty. He leads Squidward, he leads with the Tentacruel. Alright, I'm fine with that. I'll just U-turn on out into my Seismitoad and try to get up my rocks. Frisk, and we find the Black Sludge as expected pretty much. Yeah, I can just U-turn here pretty freely. If he has Scarf Tentacruel and he's max speed, so be it, because I did not put in speed for Scarf Tentacruel, but who would? Let's chip. And we can just go on out right into that Seismitoad. He could have like an Ice move potentially, but I don't think he would click it turn 1. Let's see what he wants to do though. He just goes for the Ice Beam. He did have it. Okay. It shouldn't do that much. 30, that's fine. Lefties will get us back a good chunk of it. I don't think he'll risk his Tentacruel this early, so I'll just get up my rocks here. Really a no downside play. I'll just get him up. Rocks, we get him up. He does have the Giga Drain. I told myself in prep I would remember it, and I just didn't. I am very stupid. He does have it though. I reminded myself of it when I was building. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, okay. I need to focus up. Okay. Cool. I need something to pivot into this Tentacruel. Let's see what we want to do. Lunatone, we will be able to sponge hits from it and Psyshock it. I don't think he's not gonna like Scald here, so I think I can pivot back and forth. I know I'm taking a super effective hit with the Giga Drain, but it shouldn't do that much just because we're super spit that FAV. This does kind of make it tougher with the Indeedee, but he just spins him away. Okay. This is alright. I'll just click my Psyshock here. Yeah. If he Scald, so be it. Okay, that wasn't ideal. That was not ideal. I think I can still play it back into this, because getting big chip on this Tentacruel is really good for me. Potentially knocking it out is really, really good for me, because then his only real Entei pivot is Marshtomp, which can only come in so many times because it doesn't have recovery, and it doesn't even have lefties recovery because it has to run that Eviolite. He switches, alright. Into Hoodlum. What is this? This is the Decidueye. Alrighty. This should be a decent chip on this mon. Yeah, okay, that's actually a pretty good chip. I just want to pivot into the Noivern here. If he knocks, so be it. I don't really think I need my Scarf at this point because he didn't bring the Ribombee, so we're chilling. Yeah, I can just go hard into the Noivern. What is he gonna do though? That's the question. Yeah, I really should have preserved health on this. I should have just raw EQ'd already. Let's see what he wants to do here as we go out into our Noivern. And we will see Colberberry. Okay. He just U-turns, that's fine. We'll be able to U-turn out ourselves after this. Squidward again, that's fine. I kind of want to get a little bit aggressive and U-turn on out into the Entei on the predicted Ice Beam, and then Stomping Tantrum this and potentially knock it out. But I'll have to think. So he probably Ice Beams. I'll just Stomping Tantrum this mon, it seems really good for me. Just getting chip on it. If he Scald, so be it. I don't really think he would, just with that Seismitoad pivot from last time. He Ice Beams, that's perfectly fine by me. And we take 30. That was a crit, that's why. Entei health doesn't really matter. What matters is dead or alive Entei. And I'll just Stomping Tantrum here, because I know he's not Shuckleberry. So he should be taking around 75 to 80% on this hit, which is really, really good for us. If he's like max speed Tentacruel, that'd be very not a good bring. He switches right on out into Junior. That would be the Marshtomp. That's fine. I'll just Stomping Tantrum. As we get off, good bit of chip. And then I can go out into just the Roserade. I don't really need to risk anything. Could have potentially gone Seismitoad, try to heal up a little bit, but I just think I can go Roserade pretty safely here. And potentially getting a spike up here would be huge. Because he doesn't really switch into Roserade that well, I will say. He potentially has Raboot as like a decent switch in, but if I just Sludge Bomb that, then all of a sudden it's not that good. He also has Moltres actually, but then I just go Togetic on that. Yeah, this is interesting here, what he's deciding to do. If he makes a double, good on him. If he clicks Ice Punch, also good on him. He just gets his rocks up, that's fine. We have Defog on Togetic. Alrighty. I'm just gonna Sludge Bomb. He has no reason to stay in, and hitting something with a very strong Sludge Bomb is very good for me. So, and potentially getting poisons as well is very good. He switches. And we see the Tentacruel come in. I kinda just wanna Mud Slap this, because it won't be touching us that hard. And potentially wearing it down with Mud Slap is very good for us. He's probably Liquid Ooze, if I had to guess, so that he isn't constantly worn down. So I'm just going to Mud Slap here. I just get the Mud Slap off. That does nothing actually, wow. And he's Clear Body, because he didn't get the drop. Okay. Cool. Alright, so he is not whatchamacallit. He is not Liquid Ooze. I still think I need a little bit of health on this Rose, so it's between these two. Actually, no, not these two. These two. I don't think he's Scalding here. I'm just gonna get back into that and actually Rocks Up probably limits how much I can really do this. I gotta get into my Togetic to defog, but if he doesn't go out into his Moltres, I really don't have a good opportunity to. He Ice Beams though, that's perfectly fine. Alrighty, that was another Ice Beam crit. God damn. It doesn't really matter. That might cut down like one of my rock switch-ins potentially eventually, just because of those repeated Ice Beam crits, but he switches, goes on out into the Marshtomp again, as expected. I should have doubled, but it's whatever. He's at 50%. I'm going to go on into my Seismitoad, try to heal up a little bit. Potentially with the, if he goes for the water move. And if he goes for Earthquake, we might be able to outspeed him next turn. We should live. We might be able to outspeed, and then we'll be able to potentially get up our own rocks, or Earthquake him and put him into a range. Although his rocks might be, he's Earth Power, not Earthquake. Okay, we might not live. No, we don't. Alright. And there's the first kill. We lose our Seismitoad, unfortunately. I'll go into this, and then I can click Giga Drain. Alrighty. I'll just Giga Drain here. Potentially getting a little bit of recovery on the Tentacruel that comes in. And yeah, we'll just go from there. And he doesn't. He actually goes out into that Moltres. That's potentially the opportunity that we need to defog, which is nice. And we get a little bit of recovery back. This thing looks whack, shiny. I don't think it's ever been distributed. I was like, did I have a custom Moltres set? Or a custom Moltres color? But I don't, so yeah. Alrighty. I just go into this Togetic. And it's pretty free. He goes for the agility here. Kind of want to Thunder Wave him. At this point, I don't really want to let him snowball. I don't think I can let him snowball. And I don't want to put him in Berserk yet. So I think Togetic is going to do its job here, preventing the Moltres sweep. We might have to rely on some Hurricane dodges potentially, unfortunately. I don't know how much it's going to be doing, but we are fully SwSh Eviolite Togetic. I don't feel like it's doing that much. We'll see. He plots as well. This could be bad. Alrighty. I'm gonna Thunder Wave it. He's going for game very early on. Thankfully, Banded Entei should hopefully slow this thing down enough with extreme speed. Okay, and we get the full pair. That's nice. I'll Gleam. I'll Bite. That does nothing. He's lefties. No, he's Weakness Policy. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. This is bad. We're gonna need to play some Chance Ball with these full paras. And we're getting them, which is nice. This is very nice for us, actually. Okay. And there's the Berserk. We need one more full para, and then this thing is fully dealt with. And if we don't get it, we don't get it. And so be it. Hurricanes. I don't think we'll live this. No, we don't. There goes Togetic. But hey, it did its job with the Thunder Wave luck. To the point where he's at neutral speed because of the T-Wave. I don't really want to take rocks on my Entei additionally because I only have one more in on the rocks, so I'm gonna have to go Noivern here. Unfortunately, I don't know if we really can afford it at this point, but I don't want to risk potentially not claiming the KO. But I also don't want to. I mean, like both these will claim the KO. It's just a question of hitting a 90% accurate move. So I don't really want to end up. I just don't want U-turn to miss out on the KO, even though I think it does. I also don't really want to switch yet either. Please hit. Okay. And there this thing goes. Okay. It is not a 6-0, and that's actually kind of nice. Now we just see what he wants to go into. This is potentially in DD time as well. Squidward though. I'm really just not in a position where I have a good switch into this mon, other than I guess Lunatone. But then I'm like putting myself in a position where I potentially just raw lose to raw lose to Indeedee, but if I take too much chip on this. However, Marshtomp is putting itself in range. And so while this looks kind of bad, Entei is really putting itself in a position where it can win later in the game with potential Sacred Fire locking. It's just interesting getting the chip on the right mons to potentially win. Here, I think I just click. He shouldn't sack this. I kind of want to Ice Beam on the Decidueye play. I feel like Psyshock might be a little bit more free though, just because he doesn't have a resist other than Indeedee, which this thing is meant to wall. I'm comfortable just clicking Psyshock though, because this is getting kind of low. He goes out into it again though. He's Colbert Berry, another thing to remember. We get the Psyshock off. That might be range for another one, though I think Decidueye would be faster than us. So I just gotta go into the Noivern, and then I think I'm just gonna click Dual Wing Beat for a little bit, potentially until I die. And that's kind of our game plan here. And then hopefully Entei puts stuff in range of him. He'd have to throw, I think, at this point. Let me see the Colbert Bear. We might just die to Poltergeist here. Yep. Yeah, we do. Okay. Yeah, okay. Alrighty, we got into this Roserade. And then we just click Sludge Bomb. I think this is in range. I think this is in range of a Sludge Bomb. Yeah, this is gonna... I have to take off the Noivern too. Alrighty. Yeah, hopefully we net a kill off of this exchange, but I don't know if we will. We're netting health on the mons that really take hits from Entei. He switches though. Good on him. Into the Squidward. Into this Tentacruel again. I will Sludge Bomb here though. Low-key Lunatone might have to win us this game. I think I just have to Giga Drain until I go down. Yeah, I think the win con is Lunatone. Though Entei is clicking its moves pretty well here as well. We just get the Giga Drain off. Good chunk. And we get to heal as well because he isn't Liquid Ooze. And he just goes for his Ice Beam, which is perfectly fine. Alrighty. And he freezes. Okay. Not ideal. A little bit more chip on this would have been nice, would have been ideal, but I think it's still in range of whatchamacallit, of Entei. I could be wrong though. We get Frozen Solid. He just gets another Ice Beam and he knocks us out. That's unfortunate. Yeah, and there goes our Roserade. Yeah, I just go Entei and I lock Stomping Tantrum, I think. And then I just hope that he gives me health on the right mons so that Lunatone can win. And the right mons consist of literally just Decidueye. And then potentially Raboot as well, but mostly just Decidueye. He switches, which is actually perfectly ideal, into the Marshtomp, which is also fine. I think this thing should die to 2. Maybe it's a roll. Alrighty. And we'll get another one off. Alrighty, there goes the Marshtomp. There it goes. Dexter. Here comes the Indeedee. He does bring the Psychic Surge, good for him. He did remember to quit bringing it. I don't really know what I'm saying here. Let's see if he's Scarf or Scarf or Specs. And he's Scarf, okay. And he clicks the Expanding Force, and this will knock out our Entei 100%. Yeah. Alrighty. We got a Lunatone and a Prayer, boys. If we somehow outspeed the Decidueye, we might actually be able to do something. Only issue is no recovery at all, and we'd have to be smacked with a Scald, a Reboot hit, and some Expanding Forces. This'll do nothing though, this'll bounce. Yeah. I just ultimately think that I played very recklessly with my Seismitoad. I reminded myself Tentacruel gets Giga Drain before the game when I was building. And then in the game I was like, I forget. He goes Squidward, he's trying to save his diff. I don't know if Scald does 66 to be real. If he saves diff, good for him. If not, I don't know if he does. I'll be real. Maybe he's playing to give someone else a kill. Or just playing to click Shadow Ball and guaranteed not lose this game. Scald, we might be able to live. We do. No burn, please? We get burned. Doesn't matter. Alrighty, at least we'll be able to bring it down to a 3-0, it looks like. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, we'll be able to bring it down to a 3-0, and yeah, that sucks. I really feel like I could have played this better. I feel like I could have won this. The matchup was very challenging, and we definitely got bailed out against that Moltres with a Thunder Wave with the yellow magic, but Anyways, I'm sure we'll be able to bounce back. Our team is very powerful. I just gotta learn to use it better. This week, I feel like I sort of didn't prep a good win con. I just let myself take too much chip on the Entei, which was my best win con. Just played recklessly and didn't really give myself a great Tentacruel pivot, to be honest. I didn't expect him to have Ice Beam, Giga Drain. I didn't really expect him to have 4 attacks, to be honest. I thought he'd have some, but I guess he brought 4 attacks, which was good for him. It was a good set in the matchup. I kind of undervalued it. I kind of sort of played it down. I didn't really think it was going to be that bad. But he just clicks the energy ball, and that is good game. Yeah, I definitely could have played this one better, I can certainly say. I think I know what I did wrong, and a little bit of it was in prep with the Tentacruel. I feel like I didn't prep for like an offensive 3 attacks rapid spin Tentacruel. I feel like that was kind of where I went wrong in prep. And then in play, stacking my my Seismitoad without clicking EQ was very bad. Especially considering he was just able to rapid spin the next turn right away. I feel like I should have just taken the damage on that Tentacruel. That made it so much easier for the rest of my team to do work. But low tier fun, learning the format, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, Jesse504 out. Peace.